Oh, hold up before we start, a trailer dropped.
Right.
All right.
That I haven't watched.
Let us react to this trailer first because my body's ready and I've been dodging these reviews online. Like,
My back is tired, guys. Yo.
Are you gonna share the screen or?
I've been doing Matrix, dog.
Huh?
I've been dodging these trailers left and right.
welcome to yet another episode of the Nerdgasm podcast.
And I've made a comment on TikTok. We are sober, but I'm telling you, man.
And you can find me on Mr Geek Media. Hashtag Recast to Thala campaign.
Except Jack had to find someone from Africa. He's so plain.
Okay, I'm tebellokhala. Welcome to Nerdgasm.
Hey,
Okay, wait. First question 1.1. Where do I find the trailer? Is it on YouTube?
It is on YouTube.
yeah,
It's on YouTube. Must be on the Netflix.
Netflix
Maybe even homepage.
or IGN or something.
Go to YouTube. It's the easiest. It's the quickest. Everything's on YouTube.
True.
Yeah.
Everything is loading on YouTube.
So we all haven't.
Yeah, we all
haven't watched it. Then.
Yeah.
No, I was given instructions not to watch it, so
Oh,
I have
and
not.
then- And then question 1.2 to show that I'm. Wait. You're 28, Mr. BuckMeister, right?
Yebo.
So you were born in 90 what?
5.
95.
Freedom.
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
I was almost named Serafina. That's how close.
Well,
They were supposed to name you Crocodile, Mus.
well, Mr. BuckMeister, I have some unfortunate news for you.
What?
It means you're not a Gen Z.
Yeah, I don't care. I don't care anymore. I never did.
These things, bro.
You're
I don't even
technically
know
one
what
of
was.
us.
Really?
Yes.
No, you know what I am technically? If we want to get technical, well, one, I'm supposed to be a Gen Z because apparently now it upped in age. I don't know when. But then I'm a Zennial now.
You're in the cusp. You're supposed to be called millennials, but technically you're one of us. You are in. Gen Z starts from 96.
Yeah, well, it's like,
Basically, when I did grade 1. No, grade. When I was grade 3, I was in grade 1 at 94. Dear God, I'm old.
dog, there's too many labels, bruh. I don't know. Now everybody's Alpha, Beta, Gamma Squad, Teenage
Okay,
Mutant
wait.
Ninja Turtles.
I'm looking at other room places. How do you share your screen again?
Go to IGN, bro.
No, thingy.
At the
Bottom
bottom.
If you're trying to share your screen,
Bottom
bottom
right.
right.
Oh, there it is.
Chat. Share screen.
Sorry, my blunt moment. Share screen.
See if we can bloodbend him.
How many screens do I have?
What will an airbender do? What can you do? Okay, I'm just joking.
And he's the airbender, by the way. Yeah? He's the airbender, right?
Yeah.
Wow. I will ask these
This
questions.
Fighting
freaking
against
Zahir
yourself.
over here roasting other airbenders.
I know. I'm sorry.
Let's just hear if there's sound first.
Yeah.
There we go.
Nice. There we go.
Okay. All right. Full screen. Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Silent
Let's
on
get
set.
ready to rumble.
We're just gonna call this part. We react to the last Airbender trailer. All right.
Yeah.
It needs you, man.
Okay.
Red flag there.
Where's out?
Right. There goes the savior of the world.
Alright.
All right. Okay.
Alright.
It's giving Last Airbender vibes a bit, but it's not bad.
I'm not hating it.
I'm not hating it, but
I'm not hating it either.
I'm not 100%, but I'm not hating it.
Yeah, I'm not hating it at all, to be honest.
Yeah, look,
It looks
it's impossible to get it 100% right, I think.
No, but I think some of the issue is that the delivery. I think one, One, I think that they're making the anime live action adaptation mistake in where they're trying to make some of these characters sound like the cartoon characters a little bit.
Oh, I get
Like,
you.
Mhm.
and I'm like, like just because it's a cartoon, when you adapt it for live action, have them talk like live action people. You can't.
Like normal people, yeah.
Yeah.
Like the soccer moment looked off. Yeah.
Like I'm saying, like with Batman, right? When Kevin Conroy is doing his thing, that cadence it works for an animated show. But like Ben Affleck or Christian Bale, they couldn't do like imagine if Christian Bale or Ben Affleck were like, "I am justice, I am the
The
knight,
night.
I
Yeah.
am Batman." You'd be like, "Wow, what the? This is so whack."
But also, I think I don't know about General Iroh. I love the actor; he's great. But I feel like they sort of changed something about him. He didn't seem
Well,
so reserved.
He doesn't
they,
look peaceful. He looks
Yeah,
like
he
a
looks-
warrior.
He looks stressed. Actually, he looks like so.
Mm.
he looks
Like
like he sees some shit.
And he looks like he looks like he's cocky. There was a scene there where he looked like he was a bit cocky. I'm like,
Yeah,
this is,
because I think it's from that scene where they're fighting against the Earthbenders when Zuko's come to rescue him,
Mm.
and there
No,
he
Iroh bucks his chest. He's not a person he's not a church mouse. Like when he's in the fight and he's in the battle, Iroh's got that thing. But like I think they didn't show him in the downtime.
but
Yeah.
Yeah.
but at the same time we can't expect. You see the two things that I wasn't couldn't I'd give them to you. You can't expect Iroh to replace Iroh, and
Yeah.
you can't and we can't expect that other characters. I was thinking, no, we need to give them some leeway. As Aang himself, we can't expect Aang to be Aang.
Mm. I'm expecting top marks in terms of visual presentation and the bending.
And
Just
so far,
worried about. Well, it looked good from what I saw. The bending
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
really good, and the action sequences looked good. The sets and everything looked amazing. The camera was moving pretty nicely. So
I was
in
happy
terms
to
of
see
visual
Boomy.
presentation, it looks great. I'm just worried about acting and connecting with the
Actual
characters.
story. Because
Yeah,
it's
like the guy who's gonna
like
play
8
Boomy,
episodes.
he can't do Boomy like it was in the cartoon.
No, he can't. Otherwise, it's gonna be way too childish. Like it's gonna be way what's the word, campy, right?
Because we want an insane king. People think that must be convinced that he's crazy. But then you realize there's methods to his madness. So it's going to be a hard sell. They've got an uphill battle.
Here's
I
a
won't lie.
philosophical question that's not
Aye.
that philosophical. Do you guys
Mm.
think we could ever like the show having watched the original? Like, could we ever be like, oh, that
Okay.
was good?
We can.
I mean, like for me, okay, sorry, Zuko, we need you to jump in here. We've been talking for like the last 5
No,
minutes.
okay. As a film student, a film graduate, I love the cinematography. It looked on point. It looked as it should be. It's an epic, so there were some good epic shots there. I enjoyed those. Saka looks like he'll be the comic relief that he's supposed to be. The acting, I'm also a little hesitant about, and not that it's supposed to translate from the cartoon to the to real life, just that the message translates. Because as long as the message translates, then you can say like, okay, he didn't do it like that guy did it, but I got the essence and I felt what he was talking about. Visually, it looks brilliant. So at least they spend money on that, because if you've watched some other Marvel shows, you know sometimes they like to skip the money on the visuals.
Mhm.
So
Rush the artists.
yeah, or rush it. So visually it looks good. But I think here's always a trick I learned as a film student. There was a point in time I couldn't watch movies because within 10 minutes I knew what was going to happen. I could like see the plot. I could see, and then I'd literally tell my friends like, Tebello's going to kill Pila and he's going to do it this way. And then it literally happens that way, and they got boring for me.
Yeah.
So I literally had to train my mind to calm down my expectations, not, and even if I see it, to not let it ruin the movie for me.
Mhm.
So I think that's what also, because we are such big fans of the original one, we have high expectations for it. But we also need to realize it's a different medium and it's not going to translate the same. Aang can be funny and childlike in in the cartoon, but in real life, sometimes it won't translate as well. So I think we just need to, yes, it won't be as great as that one. We don't need it to be as great as that one. We just need it on its own to be great. And I think we need to look at it that way instead of comparing, like, no, but in this scene, they did it like this. And
No, I mean,
because otherwise, then you're not going to enjoy it.
I can do that because I mean I managed to do that for the Cowboy Bebop live action. Like I said, with the Cowboy Bebop live action, I thought that the main cast was good. I thought everyone else was terrible.
I agree.
Like that was the issue, is that like everybody, like the cast, like the main cast got the notes where it said act like regular people, and then everybody else got the notes where it was like act like an anime character. Because at some point there was a lady who was laughing and she was like, "Oh, you messed up, vicious." I was like, "What? What?" So with this, it looks like they may be avoiding that a little bit. I think. I guess the only thing is like that's what I'm saying though, is like the delivery. I think it just can't be flat. I'm not expecting the cartoon, but like some of the delivery looked a little bit flat, and that's kind of worrisome for me because I'm like, if that's moments of flatness, that's fine. But if we start getting monotone areas where they're trying to just entertain us with the visuals, that's going to be a problem.
I think the only two actors for me that seemed convincing. Okay, let me say four. Is Aang Kitara? No, not Aang. It's Kitara, Zuko. Who's the other one that I just saw now? She didn't speak though. The girl that has that thing that she.
Oh, I'm forgetting her name.
Yeah, and who's the other one? I'm forgetting the other one. I'll tell you guys when.
Fire Lord, maybe?
No, not the Fire Lord. Azula.
I think Sokka looked convincing.
Azula.
He looked like he was going to be a good.
I think he looked like he had a bit of an uneven performance because he did have a funny line and like the delivery was okay, but then when he's doing that reassurance of Aang, it kind of just felt like a little monotone for me.
My 2 cents, or what I thought of it, the trailer more often, with my experience of real, or rather with my fingers being burnt with Star Wars, I always expect the trailer to be far more entertaining than the actual show. So
It'd be like that.
yeah, so far I like the theme. I see that they're moving a little away from the childishness, more into the more epicness. That's the sense I got.
And I'm worried about that because like the childishness was a big part of like I'm not expecting it to be the cartoon. I really am not. But at the same time, they mustn't make, because to talk about Korra, sorry. I'm gonna bring it up, sorry.
Korra Mita, where is it?
Yeah. Ding. To talk about Korra, I feel like Korra at some stage it missed the fun a little bit. I think like a little bit of the wonder and all of that about the world, because I mean, like, yes, we know it's a serious situation and everything, but with like Avatar: The Last Airbender, as much as there was, themes of war, displacement, oppression, mind washing and all of that stuff, there was a sense of adventure. There was like, oh hey, let's go check this out, let's go ride the koi fish, oh let's go meet King Boomy and slide down the slides and all of that stuff. There was that like, excitement and everything around it. So I don't want them to make the mistake of thinking that because it's live action now, we really got to lean into the war stuff and the war propaganda, and we got to miss all of the other stuff like the traveling and,
I hear you. And by what I'm saying, they're moving away from the comedy. I'm not just saying that they're trying to make it more serious. I'm trying to say that it's like when they took, like what Peter Jackson did when he took the content from the Lord of the Rings. He didn't take away the epicness, but he did tone down the more whimsical parts of the book.
No,
You know,
I'm saying that's what I'm understanding. I'm saying like I don't want them to just lean into how epic the story is. I do want those small moments where we get like Sokka, for example, when he was hitting Zuko with the back of his with the back of his boomerang or something or whatever,
With
and then like Zuko just kicks him off. Like it was such a dope entrance for Zuko. He was so intimidating, and then Sokka like just completely removes how dangerous Zuko is until Zuko reminds you that he's dangerous again. So, like, I don't want them to lose that, if you know what I mean.
And if you see that they've got teenagers instead of kids, remember Aang was about what 12? They were like 12 when things started. Here they look like they're 16. So that moving away from the whimsical but they were like 10, 12. They were between like 10 and 12.
And then to answer your question, Pila, I'm not going to delude myself. I am going there knowing full well that I'm not going to fully like it. I'm just going to be as impartial as possible, but the bias, the child in me is too strong for me just to say, hey, let me just pretend it's not, let me just gonna pretend that I like it. Yet there are movies that people loved their live action sequences and I still loathe. I can't stand watching Kenshin. People loved the live adaptation. I can't because
I get you. I feel the same way with some MCU characters or some MCU films. I'm like, mm-mm. So I get you. X-Men.
I don't want to delude myself into thinking I'm gonna try and have an open mind. I'm going to watch it purely as a podcaster, as somebody who quote unquote has to have some reviews about these things. But for me just to delude myself and say I'm going to fall in love with this, it's going to be the best thing ever, I'm not gonna go with it like I did with Ahsoka. I'm sorry. So
Show you then.
so that
someone got burned.
Oh no!
Hey, but watch that video, bro. You will see. We were coming back from war. We were Vietnam survivors.
That last episode, we were all like,
Yo, PTSD actually.
So
I don't want to see the Force. I don't want to see a lightsaber, Antoine. You're hype.
We were that tired.
In terms of like the tone of the trailer, I agree with you guys. It's definitely a lot more in the epic direction.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that. I'll say it in two ways. Like number one, I can't really judge the tone of a show from the trailer because there's plenty of times I've watched a movie where the trailer was tonally way different from the actual movie I've watched. I'll use a recent example. The Mean Girls trailer it's a musical film, but they didn't even show any of the musical elements in the actual trailer. So
wait,
if you
Mean
walk
Girls
in,
is a musical?
New one.
The new one. You know,
you wouldn't know that from watching the trailer, right? So, and then with this, obviously, I think they definitely didn't go with the more whimsical side. But I'm totally okay with that, even if it's in the show. Like, I'm for totally different reasons from BuckMeister, who wants that. I don't, because I don't think they'll pull it off on the same level as the original show.
No, again, like I said, I'm not looking for the same level. I just think that if they can capture it in their way, if they like, even if we just get nods to it, we don't need whole sequences. Like for example, one sequence that looked kind of fun was him doing the air ball because it was like a reference to the intro. So if we get that stuff and that stuff is done decently, then at least I know we're not doing this whole thing where we're just taking away the fact that it was a kid show. Because I feel like at some point, as adults grow up and watch stuff, people get embarrassed that they used to watch and enjoy kid shows.
Right.
I feel like that's not like the thing that made it what it was
On
is
that
that was the element of being a kid show.
On that point, who can still watch Power Rangers right now?
I can. I just wanted to say that.
Oh, Xena. Who watches Xena?
Okay, no, but I mean, if we're going down that list, I recently just rewatched Kim Possible and I had a fantastic time. And I recently watched like American Dragon and I was laughing so hard and at all of this stuff. I mean, I was thinking about it. I'm like, how does Professor Rotwood have a job? Like he still got hired somehow after he went to prison. I'm like, who hired this guy? So yeah, I mean, as an adult, you're just like that doesn't make sense. But like, I had such a great time.
That's true. I'm talking about the cringe factor you'll see if you watch something like Xena. Trust me. If you
Xena is hard to watch
if you watch it today.
Power Rangers. I mean, even Power Rangers is hard to watch. Like, because I'm a huge Power Rangers fan. But when I watched the first, because now Billy from the first Power Rangers is kind of like the Iron Man, like the Robert Downey of the universe now. But back then, dog, he used to say affirmative almost all the time. Like, dog, we know you're smart. You don't have to say affirmative for us to know you're smart, dog. Relax. You know what I mean? But anyway,
I
I just
still can't get over the fact that there's a scene in Xena where she flipped herself from a tree into a boat that was sailing away while ululating. I don't know if you can find the clip. Like wheel into the boat.
I think I've actually got the whole series. I'm not sure if I have all of it, but I do have the series.
I just want to say that I got the impression that they might have tweaked Firelord Ozai a bit because I was not intimidated by him at all when I saw this. So I think they're probably gonna make him a complex character instead of just making him a straight out villain.
I think they need to be careful with that because now I don't think we need to start having sympathy for Lord Ozai.
I think that's the direction.
If they do that, I think it's going to kind of mess it up because now is it like
it's going to
mess it up.
It's going to rip it to shreds. The thing that makes an epic more compelling is that there's supposed to be an overarching evil, an evil presence or something that's wrong that pulls the plot forward. Book 1 and book 2, Ozai doesn't even have a dimension. You don't see him. We feel the evil that he's done, and they did it so beautifully in the animated series because he's still a human being. The only other epics we can compare this super evil thing would be like Palpatine, who's like the super evil wizard, and Sauron, who's literally the devil's sidekick. And we get to see just that we have equated Ozai's level of evil and power to characters like that, and now to make him a more compelling to make him
more
like are we gonna bring in a Zulon and he's like, yo, a Zulon never loved me.
Yeah.
No, not like that. You know what? The impression that I got was more like it's not that he wants to be evil. It's just that his father. I don't know.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Is that like now are we doing this thing of it's going to be the generational trauma, and now Zuko is going to be the one to break he's going to be the one to break the cycle. We don't need that.
Like Iroh stepped away and thus he's weak. Don't be like your older brother. That's the vibe that I got. Because he was very calm. I don't know if you saw from that trailer, he was extremely calm though.
But I think he's channeling his inner Sephiroth. Sephiroth, for as much of a super villain he is, he always appears calm. Yes, it's the second time I'm mentioning Sephiroth in a villain. I don't care.
Sephiroth counter ding.
But that was never Ozai though.
No, Ozai is over the top, yes. But the thing is, right, if we're talking about Ozai as a character, he is a character. Let's not say he's not. Let's not say he's just some faceless thing. He is a character. But with the way they grew up in the Fire Nation, especially around that time, right, with Roku's best friend who was the Fire Lord that kicked this whole thing off, right? Like, the nation was just a nation of greatness. And like the way that Ozai grows up, he grows up embracing that greatness to the point where he was the star pupil and all of that stuff. So maybe if they do something subtly without like outright abusing Ozai, where they kind of subtly, like how they showed, we'll talk about it when we get to book 3, but basically if they do something like that, where they're propping up Ozai because of how cruel he is, and they're making him the pinnacle that everybody aspires to be, but they're showing us that type of thing, I think that would be okay if we're getting more Ozai, but I don't need my dad never loved, because Ozai, he was like the thing that his father wanted. Iroh was the issue. Like Iroh was the problem, and Ozai was the A star, the jock. He was the star pupil. So if they capture that, and we get to see more of that dynamic, maybe okay. Like if we get to see him in contrast to Iroh, because we didn't really get to see him in contrast to Iroh with them on screen together. If you get what I'm saying, if we get that, okay. But if we get the other thing, yeah.
That being said, okay, what's your closing thoughts? I'm gonna go to each person, and then I'm going to leave Peeler for last because he's our group prophet. Whatever he predicts tends to happen. So I'm gonna leave.
And Barbara, like
what are the lotto numbers there, Peeler?
That's a lot of pressure now.
You know who Killer is? He's that lady from that village that was predicting the future. If he touches your palm and pitch, it's over.
No, for me, he's like Bruno. We just need to get him from Encanto. We just need to give him some space and then do your thing. So we'll leave it to it. So, BuckMeister, what are your predictions?
Predictions for this? I think I think they're going to be more faithful to the source material than I think Shyamalan was. I didn't mean to mess up your name like that. Let me be fair. Shyamalan. I think they're going to be more faithful to because they're already doing the Kyoshi Warriors, which Shyamalan didn't do. So that's going to be good to see. It's going to be interesting to see how the Kyoshi Warriors are going to fight the Firebenders because I mean, like the way they did it in the cartoon was super cold. I think Aang is going to. I think the character, I think the actor, the main actor, I think he's going to have to warm up. So maybe he'll have like a rough, performance in like the first episode. But like when we get to episode 2, maybe we'll acclimatize to him and he'll be acclimatizing to the role. I think there's gonna be some growing pains. I think with the series and the actors getting used to the roles that they're in. I think. I don't think they're gonna change much. We didn't see Ko the Face Stealer, so I don't know if they're gonna introduce that plot or whatever. But I mean, they gotta save some surprises for the show. But I think we're gonna see Ko in this series. I think that it depends. We might be in for what's a good example? We might be in for a Cowboy Bebop, but maybe they had the balance better with this. Maybe. That's the best I got.
Mr. Extrodin?
Controversial take. The actor who played Aang for me in the Shyamalan version, I loved him. I think he was really brilliant.
What?
Geek heresy.
What?
Why didn't you save that? Oh my god, you know how
I said,
where's the holy water?
What are you doing?
Holy water.
Right beneath your feet.
Like I said, it's a controversial take. I love that actor, and I'm not.
No, I'm saying, dog, you should have put that in Geek Heresy. Oh my god, that would have been so fire.
I said what I said. Yo, in the comments, I said what I said, yo. But anyway, I don't know if the number of episodes.
I'm going to clip this. I'm going to put it on Twitter.
I don't know if the number of episodes will do this story justice, because I'm not sure if they're covering just book 1. But I think.
How many episodes are they making?
I think it's 8, but it's like an hour.
No, they gotta cover book 1.
From the trailer, it looked a bit like book 2 was also in there.
Yeah, book 2 is also there if you look at the trailer, because they show a lot of us.
Azula appears in a flashback, I think. That's just
that's the girl that has that sniffy thing is from book 2, is she not?
No, she's from book 1.
She's from book 1.
Oh, okay. But anyway,
according to IMDb, it's 10 episodes.
Yeah,
God.
Like I said, it's 10. It's not enough.
But they can't jump into book 2 because it'll be a muddled mess.
But anyway, so I just
how many episodes were there originally? 22.
Yeah,
there's 20 in each season except for the last book. Last book I think has 21 or 22.
And the average episode length was how long?
20 minutes.
25, 24 minutes.
So it kind of squeezes in a little uncomfortably, but there it does.
No, but I'm saying they'd have to dedicate it to book 1. Like, I think because a lot of stuff happens in book 1, so like I think what they're gonna do is they're gonna mash episodes together, and I think that's a better format. But if they start trying to record book 2 in there, it's going to be a mess.
Yeah, because we get introduced to Toph in book 2, don't we?
Yeah. And we didn't see her in the trailer. And if she was in the trailer, they were going to bring Toph out big time.
Oh, no, that'd be alright.
Did you guys see Azula in the trailer?
She's there for a scene, but I think she's a flashback. Yeah. I think what they're going to do is basically they're going to have Zuko doing his monologue, and then she's going to show up.
Oh, okay, wait. Because Azula appeared in the trailer, I'm going to be doing this. Whenever Azula is mentioned, I'm going to play her theme song. So cue the Azula theme song at this minute.
Julie, do the
thing. Cause look, that song slaps. That's the only thing I like about the character.
Zuzu.
Anyway,
I hope they get that right. Anyway,
I just hope that they actually respect the fans. You know what I mean? With this material, and they don't do what these studios have been doing recently. So I'm a bit hopeful. Yes, I don't think it's gonna be exactly like the cartoon. I don't think it will ever match up to that, but I hope that it at least makes us look forward to watching book 2. That's my thought.
Mr. Zuko.
Respect the fans.
Super villain reveals himself. What is that language? Respect the who? What are those?
What?
Oh,
What are those?
Sorry,
we have air conditioner now.
You see, from the book of Guru Lahima, you know that the fans are not being respected.
Dum dum dum.
Abandon hope, according to Gorilla Hima.
The winds of change, according to Guru Lahima.
Yo, guys, you can even make me forget my point.
Okay, you're saying?
Okay. Very shortly. I think they learned a lesson from the last movie. I think it'll be closer to the original. I do think, though, because they have teenagers in there and not kids, it won't be as whimsical as the BuckMeister said. And I think it'll be more serious, and the tone will be more adult, for lack of a better word. However, acting dependent, my only real concern from what I've seen in the trailer is the acting. That's really my only concern that I've seen is the acting. Will they be able to pull it off? Because even if you've got a decent script, a decent story, if your acting is low, then it dies. Because if you've got good acting and poor script, it'll be this way. But if you've got good script and poor acting, then it goes that way.
Whose acting were you bothered by in particular?
Aang didn't look that convincing, but then again, he's a so I'm not going to be too harsh on him.
The difficult thing about child actors.
Katara looked too passive. Katara was
yeah, she looks a bit too innocent.
Was a Spitfire. Yeah, Katara was a Spitfire. Katara was basically like a Fire Nation child, you know. She was very Spitfire, go-getter. Here she looks very, yes, no, we'll do it. We will achieve. Look like, yeah, we're gonna do this. You know, she was very like that. So just those two. You didn't really. Iroh, he looked. I know Iroh is a warrior, and when he goes warrior mode, he looks like a warrior, but he didn't look, you know, the calm, mellow Iroh.
To be fair to the trailer, though, they're showing us a lot of action scenes, so maybe that's why he's got that face on.
Also, on that note, they showed the Fire Lord without a shirt on, and then they showed they cut to a scene where there's fire bending. That is not Zuko. That is not Fire Lord Ozai. That is General Zhao with Zuko.
Oh.
It's just
because they basically cut to both Agni Kais. That's kind of weird.
That's what they did, because there's no way Zuko would be defending himself against his dad. He surrendered immediately in the story. If they made him put up a fight, then it would defeat the whole the whole purpose of that scene.
No, it has to be General Zhao. There's no way.
It depends on how the story is told, but I hear you.
Yeah, so I am hopeful. It looks promising. I am not putting all my eggs in the basket, but I am not discarding it. I am hopeful. I am positive about it.
Okay. And it's my turn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The pressure's on my head now. I liked the trailer. The music had me going. They got the music right, and that if there's one thing, like I told you, if there's one thing that saves a movie for me is how the score is portrayed. I know it's heartbreaking. I've saved many. I've defended many movies from from the set pile because of that, and so far the music is having me. The If I were to compare, it's going to be leaps and bounds better than uh, M Night Disaster. It's for me it comes with a big problem because it's going to pull a Snyder cut in that it's going to be so much better than the original that people are gonna praise it so much that they're gonna not pay attention to its failings compared to the original storyline that we all grew up and loved, and that's where my concerns lie. That's where my big concern is right now because they're gonna say, "Oh my God, it's so much better than M Night." Nanda. Look, they're so respectful. They did this, and then when you see an obvious failing, people are gonna just say, "Ah, no, it's at least it's not like."
But I mean, the hope is that with all of these things is that people do go back. Like if somebody is like who watched that and they're like, "Oh, Last Airbender's whack," and they watch this and this is low key decent, that they do go back to the cartoon and watch the cartoon and all of that stuff. Like that's the hope, so that you can actually see where the stuff came from and you can then actually see, how the comparisons and how this thing got this thing started. That's the hope, I guess.
Have you guys watched Death Note, the live action?
Nope.
No, not the Netflix one, the Japanese one.
Yeah, I watched the first movie, not the second one.
Yeah, the first movie.
Was it good?
It's not bar for bar the manga or the anime, but it was decent.
It was decent.
Well, if there's one thing we learn, if you look at how they portray manga adaptations to anime adaptations, they always change something. It will never ever be 100%.
That's why I wanted to go.
Yeah, and we should give that level of credence to a animated production to a live action production. I agree with that. What I don't agree with is when they take away major plot points or major skill sets that determine how a character's development or a character's abilities.
Yeah, if Sokka doesn't boomerang, we riot.
If Sokka doesn't boomerang, we riot. If you mess up the ultimate technique that Kenshin had to go through hell to learn and make this annoying generic fight between him and Shishio, in the end, I will not agree to it. I will not say this was a good adaptation. You will not bribe me.
Or you make Cyclops a crybaby.
PTH flashback. Sorry. I
don't know.
Sorry. I'm back. So, my thoughts is going to be a lot better than M Night Shyamalan, and it might be an issue, but it will be a very enjoyable to match. That much I can agree with. So I'll give it a tentative. The gates are. I'm not lowering the shields. The shields are still up. I'm at yellow alert. I'm not at red alert anymore. Weapons are lowered, but the shields are still up. The gate is still drawn. I'm not letting anything in. That's my thoughts. Pilar.
Before Pilar goes, I'll also just say, and I hope they get the pacing right. Because if they get the pacing right, then the events that are important can be in there. Yeah.
Because we do need a Sokka and Yue romance. It needs to be. We need to feel that romance develop. We mustn't rush through it.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, the show did, but because the characters were so good that we found it believable.
Yeah.
Because Sokka was so charming. So if they nail his charm in this, they don't have to spend too much time. Because, I mean, if we look at Suki, they also didn't spend a lot of time. It's just that Sokka was so good of a character that we bought it.
Yeah, and props to the casting. I know it's a bit controversial, but Sokka does look like Loki. He does have that kind of riz. So it's like, yeah, he do look charming. Yeah, he will break a lot of hearts if he left in a peaceful time. I agree with that. Fire Lord Ozai is a little too sexy for my liking. I thought like, okay.
They are calling him Daddy Ozai.
I was like,
so sexy, it hurts.
I'm not supposed to be convinced, sweetie. You're pure evil. I'm not supposed to fall in love with you. No.
You know, guys, how sometimes they change live action because we got a big name actor and we have to show him on screen for the most part. You know, like how they do with superhero movies where the hero doesn't wear his mask because the actor's face has to be shown.
Chris Hemsworth.
I hope they don't do the same thing with Avatar, where we see Fire Lord Ozai more than we should. Just because it's a big name.
Looking at you, Mr. Hemsworth.
Not just him, Ant-Man, almost every superhero thing you can think.
It started with Hemsworth. He wore that helmet once, and we never saw it again up until you met his ex-girlfriend. And I will not forgive you.
During a ceremony, bro. That's it. Imagine.
Anyway. Let's leave it.
My thoughts.
Yeah, go ahead, Mr. Pila.
Oh, thanks, man. I was gonna say my thoughts are not that strong. I just think at the end of all of this, I think we're just gonna be like, oh, that show was average. I think we're all just gonna walk away. It's not gonna be too offensive. It's also not gonna be anything great. I think we're all just gonna walk away like, oh, that happened, and the fandom will just go, okay. My main reason I'm saying that is because I know the creators of the show walked away from this project, and I don't think, and they didn't say anything bad about the show, so I don't think it's gonna be great. But if they thought it was gonna be atrocious, they probably would have said something. So I think they probably just thought, and I think that's what we're all gonna think.
But they probably signed NDAs or something, so they got.
For me, the guy who makes Avatar for me was Aaron. I mean, I know they were the creators. I keep forgetting their names.
Brian and Michael.
Yeah, Brian and Michael. Like they did a great job fleshing out a lot of the story. But I just think the cohesiveness of the story, I give that to Aaron. So
I definitely don't think we're gonna get a very well, like what Zuko said. I don't think we're gonna get a well-paced or cohesive show. Sorry to combine both your points. The main reason I'm saying that is because I think what's going to happen is they are going to definitely pinpoint all the specific moments from the original show that they need to cover from book one. But the way we get to those moments is probably not going to be smooth.
Yeah.
So they probably just feel like it's going to feel like Easter eggs. Like it's happening, but why? How do we get here? Why are we here? Kind of situation. But like I said, I don't think we're going to, at the end of this, my prediction is we're not going to be overly offended by it. I don't think we're going to be overly enjoyed. I think we're just going to be like, that happened. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, after Ahsoka, I'll take that. Thanks. That's
the prophet has spoken. Now, what is this thing?
I'm not a prophet, but like from your reactions from the trailer, you guys didn't look very excited or even hurt. You were just like, okay.
But also remember, we've been hurt before, so we try not to get too excited.
Yeah, we can't go like, whoa, wow.
But also at the same time, we want to be fair to the thing, because I mean it takes a lot to put something like this together. So I don't want to be like, oh, this is trash. We have to give it a chance.
Oh, it's definitely not trash.
Yeah. But I'm saying, like, I can see somebody who's a hardcore Last Airbender Avatar fan being like, yo, that's not my Aang, get Katara out of here, yo, what the hell is this Sokka?
There's always that one guy.
Zuko looks like he's supposed to be in a Tokyo boy band singing about giving me hearts and all of those things. Like, he doesn't look like Zuko at all. Iroh looks like he's stressed out all the time, dog smokes some weed or something like that. Like, there's going to be that guy, so.
I just hope they don't pull a Hulk running in Wakanda clickbait thing. You know what I mean? Like, I hope all these scenes that we've seen here are not going to be cut out.
Also, I hope the action that we're seeing is not the best. I really hope they save some of the best, because I hope, like, we don't get to see Boomy and then, like, that's the best part of the fight, and then the rest of the fight is just boring.
Yeah.
I also hope Sokka's way funnier than what we just saw.
True that. I also hope that.
Because
he had uneven delivery. Because the one line when when Aang like fell and hit the rock doing the air scooter thing, his delivery there was good. But then when he's talking to Aang and he's trying to reassure Aang and Momo's tried to make it a funny moment, that's where I was kind of like, I'm worried. So I'm hoping he doesn't have an uneven performance. Because I feel like that would annoy me more if he was uneven, because it was just like, then what was the direction? Like, what, like, is there two directors? Did the one director say, hey, actually have some life here, and then here just be completely monotone?
I think the problem with having a character that's funny like that is tough, because we already have expectations. If this was a live action from the get-go and this guy was like that, like it was funny but sometimes not funny, it would be okay. But I mean, that's why, like, even with the Spider-Man, for instance, like, people are like, Tobey Maguire is not funny, Andrew Garfield is funny, but Tom Holland, it's because you're comparing it to an already existing character from either the comics or the animation or the game.
I mean, but I'm saying to.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Hey, we're not sure to get how hello, and this
is that excuse me, what I'm saying is that Sokka had moments, right? So there's moments where he's serious, there's moments where he's telling Katara not to go chase the mom killer or whatever, but even in those moments there's variation. So I'm hoping this guy doesn't just go monotone when he's supposed to be serious, if you get what I'm saying.
If there's one thing I can say is that there's no way he can be a Sabine.
Let's hope not.
Yeah, so already from the get-go, I'm seeing.
Sokka, open the door. Zoom.
You know,
all of a sudden
that would be a hell of a change.
All of a sudden,
that would be a hell of a change. Imagine Sokka's just like, I'm a waterbender now. Hey, man.
and the siege
they
of
must never, they must don't.
And the siege of the water, and the siege of the North Pole, and they're busy fighting, and suddenly Sokka just stands in front of the moon and feels it.
And boomerangs, and water bends his boomerang.
Yo, we would riot.
Ahsoka.
Anyway.
Okay, that concludes. I think we can conclude our trailer review.
Yeah.
The ultimate. So to quote Pila, it's I think our average is going to be about a 5 out of 10. We've been heard before, so we're not too excited. We're not allowing ourselves to be too excited. Like I said, my shields are still up. I'm at yellow alert.
I have higher hopes than 5.
I think I'm 6.5, 7.
Yeah, I'm just saying, in our average, we were whittling it down to 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you compare all 5 of us, because there's Mr. Already expecting disappointment, but he's like, okay, I'm just being tentative. And then there's Mr. Then you two are the hopeful ones, so I'm bringing down the average. I was about to say something controversial, and I'm trying not to say it. So let me
say it.
Your mom is watching, bro. Be careful.
It's not sexual, but it is controversial. That's the thing.
Say it.
Okay, fine then. I'm not Uganda, so I'm not playing that role. I'm not trying to deliberately give wrong marks. I'm using my controversy. Those who know.
If this video ever gets monetized, oh my god.
Those who know which example I'm coming from know why I'm saying I'm not Uganda.
Oh, I get it.
I'll explain in a few minutes' time when we go through our news segment. Anyway.
Alright, so I guess that covers the trailer.
Well, hour, shame. Anyway, the trailer's complete. Yay!